What is going on, guys? JD from New York, and I'm looking a little bit more professional by the day. If you guys are wondering what this is, it's actually a pop filter. I put this on my microphone so that it's a little bit more clear with my audio, so I don't have those pops and I don't have any unfiltered sounds coming through the microphone. Figured I'd do this. It's going to be better for my regular commentaries on my channel and my live commentaries, so that should work out pretty well. But this is Off the Script, episode number 15, part number 3 for your Sunday morning. If you guys missed parts 1 and 2, links will be down below. I got big news this weekend, so if you missed any part of Off the Script this weekend, go check that out down below. Tonight is WWE Payback 2014 live from the Allstate Arena in Chicago, Illinois. As always, I'm on top of things. I will be reviewing the pay-per-view immediately following the show on the WWE Network. Join me on YouTube. Join me on Google Plus as I do a live hangout with everybody. Link is down below. Mark it on your calendar. I will be reviewing the pay-per-view live. I will be discussing WWE topics, and I will be taking questions and answers on the pay-per-view review. So look forward to that, guys. But in part 3, I got news on The Undertaker. News on The Undertaker. What is the status of the dead man following WrestleMania 30, and what is the early word on WrestleMania 31? The Undertaker is still pretty banged up from his match with Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania 30. There is still no indication that The Undertaker won't be back for next year's WrestleMania 31 event. There are higher-ups in the WWE who believe that Vince McMahon did not make the decision for The Undertaker to lose at the last minute at WrestleMania 30 to Brock Lesnar, but simply waited until the last minute to let anyone know. There is still a lot of internal belief that Undertaker losing was the wrong call by the WWE. Yes, it was the wrong call. I've went over this countless times. I gave you my reasoning and my opinion for the streak to be ended. But do I think The Undertaker is going to be at WrestleMania 31? Yes. Do I think The Undertaker is going to get the proper send-off and retirement that he truly deserves? Yes. Do I think he's going to be fighting Sting at least once before they both retire? Yes. I do think he'll be back. The Undertaker is the only one who knows how well he feels. Everything else we hear, take it with a grain of salt. Nobody knows. Alright, and The Undertaker, as far as I know, and the way I was raised, respect him as a human being. Everybody's wondering what he's doing. Everybody's reporting this and that. Let The Undertaker be. Okay? You know, there's a reason why he's out of the limelight. He doesn't like being in the spotlight, and he just wants his peace and quiet. So everyone reporting about The Undertaker should give him some respect, or some level of respect. Let him do what he's got to do. Let him heal up. And the whole thing with Brock Lesnar, listen, people are going to have their opinions on it. People are going to talk about it. This is what the WWE wanted. They want people talking. This is going to be talked about forever. The Undertaker losing. This is going to be, one of the most talked about things, even going into next year's WrestleMania. There's going to be that question mark. Is The Undertaker okay? Is The Undertaker going to be back? But the WWE has to handle this correctly. Brock Lesnar has the keys to the kingdom. I already explained this to you. What are they going to do with that? That's the challenge now. That's the challenge the Undertaker has to deal with, storyline-wise. That's the challenge the Undertaker and WWE have to work around. How are they going to build from this? How are they going to build from this? That's going to be the interesting thing going into WrestleMania 31. But I do believe he'll be back. I do believe he'll be fighting Sting. I do believe he will get the proper retirement that he truly deserves. At one point, there was plans for Cesaro, a lot of Cesaro news this weekend, to win the WWE Intercontinental title, likely from current champion Bad News Barrett. They switched programs and had him feud with U.S. champion Sheamus, with the feeling that going for the Intercontinental title would hurt Cesaro. No word yet if this means anything for Sunday's Payback pay-per-view, where both titles will be on the line. Now, I do have one problem with what I just read. WWE thinks that Cesaro going for the IC title would hurt him. You can tell how far the Intercontinental title has dwindled down the ranks. You could tell what the WWE thinks of the Intercontinental title. Now, when I was younger, watching the programs and, WWE with my brothers, we always wanted the IC title more than anything. That IC title, that mid-card title was held by some of the greats that we used to fucking admire and idolize. Mr. Perfect, Bret Hart, etc., etc. That's the one title everyone wanted, because when you held that title, it means you were number 2. It means you were number 2 in the company. It means you were the number 1 contender for the WWE Championship. Now the WWE feels that Cesaro and the Intercontinental title wouldn't go good together because it would hurt him. How fucking pathetic is the WWE and the higher-ups who book the fucking programming on WWE TV to even make mention of that? It would hurt him. It would only elevate him. It would hurt him because of what you did to the fucking title. You've made it so meaningless that it's become a prop on the fucking wrestler's shoulder, on the wrestler's waist. Nobody cares. You gotta get that IC title back into the fucking mainstream public. You need to get it to mean something again. Main event Raw. End the pay-per-view with an IC title match. Give it to somebody in the main event scene and have him carried around. Bring some fucking relevance and fucking prominence back to that division. Why do they do and say shit like this? That's the fucking problem. The only thing I see here is the WWE. That's the only problem I see. Having Cesaro wear the IC title, it would only elevate it. It should only elevate him. But the current IC title, that's what the WWE thinks about it. And that's pretty fucking sickening, dating back to the lineage of that title and who held that title. Austin, The Rock, Triple H, Shawn Michaels, Mr. Perfect. Come on, man. That's absolutely fucking sad that the WWE thinks about that, the Intercontinental title that way. It's fucking pathetic. Absolutely pathetic. If it was up to me, that would be the first thing I would do if I was in charge. Intercontinental title, bring that shit back up to fucking mean something. It should mean just as much as the WWE Championship. Absolutely no fucking questions. Rey Mysterio's contract with the WWE has said to be expired according to the Wrestling Observer newsletter. That expired a few weeks back, but Rey got word that Vince McMahon had renewed it without him knowing for 1 year, even though there was no option period for 1 year in his contract. However, WWE contracts are allowed to be frozen in the event of an injury, which he's been out forever. WWE's feelings that Rey missed so much time during his contract due to injuries that he owes them the time. He was renewed through May 2015 on that basis, and Rey has a very strong downside, so he will make good money whether he's used often on TV or not. Rey is out of action right now with a hand injury. I'm not a big Rey Mysterio fan. I figured I would report that because you guys have been asking me directly, JD, where's Rey Mysterio? What's going on with Mysterio? So I figured I'd throw that in this week on part 3. There has been some talk within WWE of using the 4 horsewomen or horsewomen in some kind of angle at this year's SummerSlam pay-per-view. Now, if you guys don't know who that is, I didn't know who this is or who this was before this article. The 4 horsewomen is made up of women's MMA stars Ronda Rousey, Shayna Baszler, Marina Shafir, and Jasmine Duke. Natalya was recently working out with the group. I don't know anything about them except Ronda Rousey I know is a fucking beast. So, if the WWE wants to work with them in some capacity, obviously they gotta get permission from Dana White. Because I don't think Dana White, UFC is gonna allow their superstars to work with WWE. Unless there's some kind of deal involved. So, that's the only way that's gonna happen. But it would be pretty cool to see those 4 women just treat the divas like shit and show them what real women are supposed to be like in the ring. That would be fucking hilarious. Christian news, there are people within WWE who want to hire Christian as a producer/agent when his contract as a wrestler expires. Talk within WWE, even before the most recent concussion, is that Christian's in-ring career is expected to be phased down for the remainder of the year. That's pretty much what it was leading to anyway. There was nothing more Christian could do. He did it all in WWE. World Heavyweight Champion, Tag Team Champion, Intercontinental Champion. He had a great feud with Randy Orton several years back for the World Heavyweight Championship. They put on some great fucking matches. But, ever since the concussion, the WWE creative team doesn't have anything for him. So if they don't have anything for him, if they're not going to use him in, that kind of role anymore, it's best that he could, take what he's learned and spawn it off on somebody else, like the guys down at NXT. That would be fucking awesome. You know, that if all the young guys can learn from someone like Christian, who's been through it all. He's been in every match possible. He's held every major title. So that would be great for Christian. I hope he sticks around with the company. WWE is planning on turning Tyson Kidd into a masked wrestler. He's reportedly already had a mask designed by a man who makes lucha libre masks. The feeling is that Kidd is a talented wrestler, but they've marginalized the Tyson Kidd character for so long that there's nothing that they can do with him past the preliminary level. Now, Tyson Kidd is a great talent. I don't think putting him in a mask is going to get him over. You know, Tyson Kidd and his ability needs to be in the spotlight. He's doing great down in NXT, but his character is boring. I don't think putting him in a mask is going to make it any better. I think it's going to actually deviate all the fans from Tyson Kidd. Unless it's really entertaining, unless it's somebody who's going to speak English, like the Patriot. Remember the Patriot feuding with Bret Hart? He's actually gonna speak. I don't want him to be a fucking Mexican wrestler with some fraud name under a mask. He needs to speak. Rey Mysterio speaks. He got a Mexican background. Del Rio was in a mask. I'm not too familiar of his past down in Mexico wearing a mask, but that's what I didn't like about Sin Cara. He didn't speak any English. You're not gonna get a feud over by just fucking flipping around in the ring. You gotta fucking talk. You come to the WWE, you gotta have all the tools. You gotta be great in the ring, and you gotta fucking have that talent on the microphone. Hopefully they know what they're doing with him. I don't want to see someone with his talent go to waste. And finally, guys, to end this week's part 3, former WWE superstar CM Punk recently spoke to RedEyeChicago.com and made his first public comments about his status with the WWE since leaving the company earlier this year. While for the most part, during the interview focused on Punk's love for Chicago sports teams, especially the Cubs and the Blackhawks, and his recent charity work, he did comment on his status as a pro wrestler. When asked how it feels to be retired at 35, he replied, "It feels good." Back in February, during WWE's investor conference call, Vince McMahon commented on Punk's status with the company, saying CM Punk is taking a sabbatical. Let's just put it this way. It appears Punk sees things a little differently. Well, his contract is up in July, and I'm afraid I have some bad news for you guys, hoping that CM Punk returns at Payback at the Allstate Arena in Chicago. Where is CM Punk going to be during the pay-per-view? He's going to be watching the Blackhawks in Chicago at Game 7 during the hockey, the Western Conference Finals, during the hockey game tomorrow night, the Blackhawks versus the Kings. So he's going to be watching the hockey game front row in the arena, and he's not going to be anywhere near Payback. So if you guys hoping for a CM Punk return, lose it. It's not happening. But that is your news and rumors for this week, guys. That is part 3. If you enjoyed, obviously you know what to do. Like, favorite, share, comment, subscribe. It greatly helps out my channel to get my wrestling content out there to a wider and broader audience. And like I said, Payback tonight, 2014, immediately following the pay-per-view. I will be reviewing the pay-per-view with discussion and live question and answer for you guys, so make sure you tune in. Links are down below. If you missed the rest of Off the Script this weekend, parts 1 and 2, links are also down below. I'm out, guys. I'll see you after Payback. Have a great Sunday, and I'll see you later tonight.